If you've made it this far, maybe this story touched your heart too. I'd love to know, where in the world are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments. I read everyone. And if you want more unexpected love stories like this, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. A new twist of fate is waiting for you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. It was a cold Friday evening in Manhattan. The streets were buzzing with life. Honking cars, laughing couples, steam rising from food carts on the corners. Jake, a 28-year-old marketing executive, stood nervously outside a high-end restaurant near Times Square. His heart pounded beneath his tailored coat as he clutched a small velvet box in his pocket. Tonight he was going to propose to Vanessa, his girlfriend of 2 years. Everything had to be perfect. Inside, the table was set. 2 wine glasses, a candle flickering gently between them, and a bouquet of roses waiting beside the silverware. Jake smiled, took a deep breath, and walked in. But as he approached the table, something strange caught his eye. There was movement, subtle, barely, noticeable, from underneath the tablecloth. At first he thought it was just his nerves. Maybe a napkin had fallen, but then a pair of eyes met his from beneath the fabric. A girl. She looked terrified, her hair messy, her clothes worn and torn. She didn't belong here. Jake froze. "Who are you?" he whispered, trying not to draw attention. "What are you doing down there?" The girl didn't speak. She only shook her head, pressing a finger to her lips as if begging him not to say a word. Just then Vanessa walked in, heels clicking sharply against the floor. She was radiant in her red dress, smiling confidently, unaware of the hidden guest. Under the table. Jake panicked. He quickly sat down, trying to cover the girl's presence with his legs. He needed to think fast. As the waiter poured the wine and the evening began, Jake couldn't focus. Vanessa was talking about her day, about her new dress, about her upcoming business trip, but Jake barely heard a word. His mind was spinning. Who was this girl under the table? Why was she hiding? And more importantly, how did she get there? When the moment finally came, when Jake opened the box and presented the ring, Vanessa gasped. But before she could answer, the unthinkable happened. The girl under the table shifted. Her hair, tangled and long, peeked out from beneath the cloth. Vanessa's eyes narrowed. She leaned down and pulled up the edge of the tablecloth and screamed. "What the hell is this?" she shouted. "Who is she?" The restaurant went silent. The girl scrambled out, mumbling apologies, her face flushed with shame. "I didn't mean to. I was just cold. I was hungry." Vanessa stood up, furious. "This is disgusting. Jake, is this some kind of joke?" But Jake wasn't listening to Vanessa anymore. He was looking at the girl, something about her eyes, frightened, yet honest, broken yet sincere, grabbed him. In that chaotic, humiliating moment, Jake's world shifted. The girl shouldn't have been there, yet somehow, he knew. She was exactly where she was meant to be, and from that night on, nothing in Jake's life would ever be the same. Jake couldn't sleep that night. After the chaos at the restaurant, Vanessa storming out, the whispers of curious diners, the girl running into the street, everything felt like a blur. But there was one thing he couldn't stop thinking about. Her eyes. That girl. Scared, ashamed, but honest. The next morning, driven by something he couldn't explain, Jake went back to that same block. He had no plan, no clue where she might be, only a gut feeling that he needed to find her. He wandered for hours, checking alleyways, bus stops, even asking a few street vendors. And just when he was about to give up, he saw her. She was sitting on a bench near Bryant Park, wrapped in a worn grey blanket, holding a paper cup of cheap coffee. Her name, he'd later learn, was Lily. Jake approached slowly. "Hey, I remember—" "You," he said, trying not to sound like a creep. "From last night at the restaurant." Lily didn't look up. "I didn't mean to ruin it. I just needed a place to be warm." "I figured," Jake said, sitting down beside her. "You." "Okay," she let out a bitter laugh. "I'm used to worse." They sat in silence for a moment. Then she reached into her coat pocket and pulled something out. A ring. His ring. Jake stared. "Where Where did you get that? I bought it back, Lily said softly, eyes still on the ground. Vanessa, she sold it, pawned it for cash. I overheard everything. Jake's jaw clenched. Vanessa sold the engagement ring? Lily nodded. She used to hire me and to help her scam guys. I hated it. But I needed food, shelter, anything. But with you, I couldn't go through with it. You were different. So I followed her, found the pawn shop, and bought it back. Jake blinked. That ring cost me nearly $2,000. I know, she whispered. I sold my hair for it, 24 inches, got $2,000 cash, gave every cent to get the ring back for you. Jake turned to look at her fully now. Her once long, wavy hair was chopped short, uneven, jagged, like someone had done it in a hurry. It made her look even smaller somehow, but her eyes still held that same fire, that strange mix of strength and sadness. You did all that? For me, he asked. I don't know why, Lily said, finally meeting his gaze. I guess I just wanted to do one good thing for someone before disappearing again. Jake didn't know what to say. His mind was spinning. The woman he had planned to marry had betrayed him, and this homeless girl, this stranger, had sacrificed something deeply personal to make things right. And right then, for the first time in a long time, Jake felt something real. Not confusion, not frustration, gratitude, and something deeper than that, something that felt a lot like the beginning of love. That night, Jake couldn't stop thinking about Lily. He'd offered to get her a motel room, even tried to hand her a few $100, but she'd refused. I'm used to cold benches, she'd said with a half smile. But thanks. Used to cold benches. Those words haunted him. While he slept on a memory foam mattress in a heated apartment, she curled up on park benches with a threadbare blanket. While he worried about morning emails, she worried about making it through the night without being harassed, or worse. The next morning, Jake made a decision. He showed up at the park again, holding 2 hot coffees and a brown paper bag filled with bagels and bacon egg cheese sandwiches. Lily was sitting in the same spot, arms wrapped around her knees. Her hair was even messier than the day before, wind-blown and awkward from the sudden cut. You again? She said, surprised but not unkind. I brought breakfast, Jake said, handing her a coffee. She hesitated, then took it. You don't have to do this. I know, Jake replied, but I want to. They sat in silence, sipping, eating. People passed by them, joggers, dog walkers, business folks in coats. Most didn't notice them. A few did, and stared. Jake noticed, and Lily noticed him noticing. That's why I can't go to a restaurant, she said suddenly. What? Jake turned to her. You were going to ask me yesterday, dinner, right? She smiled, then shook her head. People like me don't get seated. We get stared at, whispered about, or worse, escorted out. Jake said nothing, because she wasn't. Wrong. I don't want to feel like trash while eating, she continued. I'd rather pick crumbs off the ground than pretend to belong somewhere I don't. Jake looked at her, really looked, and something in him twisted, so he stood up. Lily blinked. Where are you going? Nowhere, Jake said. You're the one going somewhere. He smiled. Stay here, 10 minutes. Before she could protest, he was gone. Exactly 11 minutes later, Jake returned with 2 folding chairs, a picnic table he borrowed from a friend's food truck, a tablecloth, candles, a Bluetooth speaker playing soft jazz, and takeout from a mid-tier Italian place nearby. What are you doing? Lily asked, eyes wide. If you don't want to go to the restaurant, Jake said, lighting the candles, then the restaurant's coming to you. People walking by stared. Some smiled, some laughed. One guy filmed it on his phone. Lily looked like she wanted to disappear, but then she laughed. Really laughed. Jake pulled out her chair like a gentleman. Your table, miss. She sat. They ate pasta and garlic bread under the open sky, jazz music playing, city lights flickering. And for once she didn't feel judged, didn't feel invisible. She felt seen. And Jake? He couldn't stop smiling. Because somehow on a park bench with a homeless girl and a to-go box of spaghetti, he felt more alive than he ever had in a 5-star restaurant. The night air was crisp, the kind that made your breath visible and your thoughts feel heavier. Jake and Lily sat at their makeshift restaurant under the stars, empty takeout boxes between them, candles flickering in glass jars. The city buzzed. around them. But here in this little bubble of light and music, time felt still. For a long moment, neither of them spoke. Then Jake leaned back in his chair, staring up at the sky. I haven't felt this good in a long time. Lily smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes, he noticed. What? She looked down at her hands, picking at her nails. There's something I have to tell you. Jake sat forward. Okay, I didn't just accidentally end up under your table, she said quietly. I was put there on purpose. Jake's smile faded. What do you mean? Lily swallowed hard. Vanessa, she paid me, told me to show up, wait under the table and create a scene. It was her idea. Said it'd be the perfect way to make you look like the bad guy if things ever went public, or to guilt you into staying with her. Jake's stomach dropped. You were working with Vanessa? At first, yes. Lily's voice cracked. I've done it before a few times. I helped her pull fake breakups, emotional setups, even stole a couple of rings. Jake's fists clenched under the table. But I never wanted this life, she said quickly. I was desperate, broke. No ID, no job, nothing. And she offered me food and a warm place if I helped. But when I saw you, really saw you, I couldn't go through with it. You still lied to me, Jake said, voice low. I know, she whispered. But then I saw her take your ring. I heard her laughing about it, saying you'd never know. That's when I realized I had to make it right. I sold my hair, Jake, every last inch, just to get it back. Tears welled in her eyes. I hated myself for helping her, but I've hated myself for a long time anyway. You're just the first person who made me feel like maybe I didn't have to. Jake sat in stunned silence. This girl, this stranger, had lied, yes. She'd worked with his manipulative ex, but she had also risked everything to undo the damage. She had nothing to gain by telling him now except maybe his forgiveness, and still she told the truth. You could have kept lying, he said finally. I know, she said, but I didn't want to build something real on a fake foundation. Jake looked at her, really looked. Her face was raw, honest. She wasn't perfect, far from it. But maybe, just maybe, she was real. And real was something Jake hadn't had in a very long time. Jake didn't say a word for what felt like forever. The truth hung between them like fog, thick, heavy, impossible to ignore. Lily sat frozen, bracing for him to walk away, to curse her out, to say she was just another mistake in a long line of betrayals, but he didn't. Instead, he took a deep breath and looked her in the eye. You're not the only one who's made bad choices. Lily blinked. What do you mean? I almost married Vanessa, he said, half smiling. If that's not a red flag moment, I don't know what is. Lily laughed through her tears, and for a second things felt lighter. But that peace didn't last. Just as Jake reached for her hand, a sharp voice cut through the night. There she is. Officer, that's her. They both turned. Vanessa stood at the edge of the park, wrapped in a designer coat, pointing directly at Lily. 2 uniformed NYPD officers were with her. She stole my ring, Vanessa shouted. It's a family heirloom. She's a thief. Jake stood up instantly. That's not true. Sir, please step aside, one officer said. Ma'am, hands where we can see them. Lily stood slowly, eyes wide, panic rising in her chest. I didn't steal anything. I bought it back. We'll sort that out at the station, the second officer replied. Jake stepped between them. Wait, she's telling the truth. I gave her that ring. Vanessa scoffed. Are you kidding? Me, she's homeless. She manipulates people. She manipulated you. Jake turned to the officers. Listen, I proposed to Vanessa with that ring. She pawned it. Lily used her own money to buy it back for me. Money she got by selling her hair. If anyone's stealing, it's Vanessa. She's been running scams for months. One officer narrowed his eyes. You have any proof of that? A voice chimed in behind them. Actually, I do. A young guy stepped forward, holding up his phone. I recorded the whole thing. This guy brought a table out here and gave that girl dinner like something out of a movie. She gave him the ring back. I thought it was a proposal. I've got the video if you want it. The officers took the phone, watching for a moment, then looked at Vanessa. You didn't mention pawning the ring, one said. Vanessa's expression changed. Calculated confidence shifting into uneasy. Silence. Ma'am, we'll need you to come with us for further questioning, the officer said. What? No, she's the one. Let's go. As they led her away, Vanessa shot one last venomous glance at Lily, who stood trembling in shock. Jake stepped beside her, gently placing a jacket around her shoulders. "You okay?" he asked. I think so," she whispered. He smiled. "Looks like you're not going anywhere. Unless you'd like to go somewhere with me." She looked up at him, her eyes filled with something she hadn't felt in years. Hope. "Anywhere," she said, "even if it's just to grab a sandwich." Jake laughed. "How about dinner? Somewhere with real chairs this time." And just like that, under the city lights and after all the chaos, their story didn't end. It finally began. If this story moved you even just a little, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What would you have done if you were in Jake's shoes? Could you forgive someone with a past like Lily's? Or do you believe people truly can change when given a second chance? Drop a comment below and let's talk about it. Whether you're watching this in your living room, on your lunch break, or curled up on a park bench somewhere, tell me where you're tuning in from. Your words matter. Every comment helps others see that love, redemption, and second chances aren't just fairy tales, they can be real. So don't be shy, share your thoughts, reactions, or even your own stories in the comments. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell, because tomorrow's story might be the one that changes the way you see everything. Thanks for being here. You're not just a viewer, you're part of this journey.